What is competitive Pokemon? Competitive Pokemon is a turn-based strategy game played between two players where the goal is to knock out all of your opponent's Pokemon, kind of like checkers. Instead of being played on a board, competitive Pokemon is played on a field. Depending on if you're playing singles or doubles, the field might look like this, or like this. But no matter what, every turn players must choose a move for each of their Pokemon on the field. There are two main differences to board games like checkers. First, turns are simultaneous. That means instead of players alternating moves, both players must make their move at the same time, like in rock, paper, scissors. Second is that instead of using checkers, you will be using your own team of Pokemon. Now, what are Pokemon? Of course you know what a Pokemon is. That's a Pokemon, that's a Pokemon, and that's a Pokemon. But in a competitive context, that's a Pokemon. Each Pokemon is made up of 6 stats, 4 moves, 1 or 2 types, 1 ability, and 1 item. That's it. Let's go over each one by one. First, the stats. Each Pokemon has 6 stats. These are HP, Attack, Defense, Special Attack, Special Defense, and Speed. HP, Defense, and Special Defense will make your Pokemon more tanky and be able to survive stronger attacks. Attack and Special Attack will make your Pokemon do more damage. And Speed will make your Pokemon faster. Each of these stats serve to change how your Pokemon interact with moves. The most fundamental of all moves in Pokemon is the switch. Each Pokemon is able to switch by default to any of your team members that is not already on the field or knocked out. Besides switching, each Pokemon has 4 moves and can choose to use any one of them each turn. All moves have a priority number which determines which moves go first. If 2 moves used on the same turn have the same priority, then the Pokemon's speed is used as a tiebreak, with the faster Pokemon moving first. There are many moves in Pokemon and they can be categorized into 2 groups, attacking and non-attacking moves. Attacking moves deal damage and are the primary way to knock out opposing Pokemon. Non-attacking moves do not deal damage, but can have all kinds of useful effects, such as forcing your opponent to switch, lowering their stats, or raising your own stats. But how do stats affect your moves? Attacking moves can be divided into 2 groups, physical and special. Physical attacking moves will deal damage based on the user's attack and the target's defense. And special attacking moves will deal damage based on the user's special attack and the target's special defense. As an example, if Snorlax uses Earthquake, a physical attacking move, on Rattata, the damage dealt will be based off of Snorlax's attack and Rattata's defense. This damage will then be subtracted from Rattata's HP. Unfortunately for our volunteer Rattata, he has perished for the sake of education. Each move also has a type, which brings us into our next topic. All Pokemon have 1 or 2 types. When a Pokemon uses an attacking move matching its type, it will get a 50% boost on that move. A Pokemon's type also causes it to take extra damage from certain types, and less damage from certain types, and no damage from certain types. This can be tough to figure out, especially for Pokemon with 2 types, so you can always use Pokemon DB to check if you're not sure. Here we see that ground moves will have no effect on Charizard, while rock moves will do 4 times damage to Charizard. Next, abilities are a passive effect that comes with your Pokemon and can have wide-ranging effects. It can do anything from making the Pokemon immune to a type to raising their stats. The final topic is items. So far, everything that we have covered, stats, moves, type, and ability, have been specific to Pokemon species. Snorlax's stats, moves it can learn, type, and abilities are different from Charizard. Items are the exception to this rule. Any Pokemon can use any item in the game. Items function very similarly to abilities, where they provide your Pokemon with a certain effect, such as healing over time, or a damage boost at the cost of your health. Hopefully, now you have a sense of what makes competitive Pokemon so compelling, what makes each Pokemon unique, and just how many combinations are yet to be discovered. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments, as I will read through and answer all of them. Thank you for watching and good luck.